So everyone's on the hunt for the next big thing in AI, right? But what if the companies set for some really explosive growth aren't the ones you're hearing about day in and day out? Today, we're going to dig into the data and pull back the curtain on 5 companies that could be the next heavyweights of the AI revolution.
And really, that leads us to the billion-dollar question for investors right now. I mean, with NVIDIA's absolutely historic run, the race is officially on to find that next huge winner. The clock is ticking, and the opportunity for those massive gains might be sitting right in front of our noses, if we just know where to look.
So how do we find it? Well, you've got to think like you're in the middle of a gold rush. See, the most stable, long-lasting fortunes, they weren't made by the people panning for gold. Nope, they were made by the folks selling the picks, the shovels, the essentials. It's a strategy that lets you bypass all that fierce competition and instead invest in the one thing that every single person needs. And that's exactly where we're going to start, with our first category, the infrastructure pillars. These are the companies laying the literal groundwork, the digital foundation for the entire AI revolution. They're the modern-day sellers of picks and shovels. First on our list is Arista Networks. Now, while the whole world is mesmerized by the latest and greatest chips, Arista is quietly building the insanely high-speed networks that let all those chips talk to each other inside these massive AI data centers. They are an absolutely critical and honestly an often overlooked piece of this whole puzzle.
And get this, the numbers completely back it up. We're looking at solid data-backed projections that show their revenue is set to climb past $10 billion. That's not just growth, my friends. That is a crystal clear signal that they are aiming to completely dominate the networking backbone of AI.
Okay, let's move to our next pillar. Check out how this builds. Broadcom is another absolute giant in this space. Now, they're not new to the game, not by a long shot, but their strategic shift to designing custom AI accelerators, well, it has paid off in a spectacular way. And wow, just look at this chart. It tells you everything you need to know about the sheer speed of their growth. We're talking about their AI-related revenue literally doubling year after year. This isn't just some rosy forecast. This is a proven track record of getting it done in what is probably the most competitive tech sector on the planet. So, we've got the networks handled. Now, let's talk about the hardware backbone. If you think of GPUs as the brains of AI, these next companies provide the essential memory and the manufacturing gear that every single AI system needs to even function.
Yeah, we're talking about companies like Micron and Lam Research. Think about it. Micron makes the high bandwidth memory that's crucial for processing these enormous AI models. And Lam Research, they build the incredibly complex machinery that actually manufactures these super advanced chips. They are quite literally indispensable to the entire ecosystem. And the market is definitely taking notice of that essential role. According to analysis from Zacks, both of these hardware powerhouses are showing a potential upside of over 40%. That signals some serious market confidence that as the hunger for AI compute just keeps growing, so will their value.
All right, so we've covered the established pillars and the essential hardware. Now let's kind of shift gears and have a little fun with our speculative wildcard. This is a pick with a different risk profile, for sure, but one that could offer a significantly higher reward. And that brings us to Credo Technology. So these guys specialize in high-speed connectivity solutions, stuff that's becoming absolutely vital for next-generation data centers. But more importantly, their tech is seen as a key piece of the puzzle for the future of AI. We're talking artificial general intelligence, or AGI.
And look, analysis from Yahoo Finance data really drives this home. Credo isn't just another hardware company. It's seen as building the foundational layer for what comes next. It's a bet on the future, yeah, but it's a bet that's grounded in some very real, very powerful technology today.
So, what does all of this mean for you? Let's boil everything we've just covered down into a clear, actionable playbook for how to think about investing in this AI infrastructure boom.
The key here is to see this as a layered strategy. Right at the foundation, you've got your core infrastructure plays like Arista and Broadcom. Then, building on top of that, you have the essential hardware from Micron and Lam Research. And then, for those of you with a higher risk tolerance, you can add a dose of high-growth speculation with a forward-looking company like Credo.
And this really leaves us with one big, final question to chew on. While the rest of the world is busy chasing the next viral AI app, the data seems to suggest that the more durable, long-term opportunity might just be in the bedrock, the actual foundation that makes every single one of those applications possible in the first place. Now, of course, this is super important.
Please remember that this analysis is for informational and entertainment purposes only. It is not financial advice, and you absolutely must do your own thorough research before making any kind of investment decision.
Hey, if you got some value from this data-driven breakdown, do us a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more explainers that give you an edge in understanding the future of tech. Thanks so much for watching.